Hey y'all, how are you? So it is Saturday, and I thought while I get my thoughts together about One Book July, and for Camp NaNoWriMo, I have my Snoopy writing watch on, getting into writer mode. I've also been sketching out something to watercolor. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, and I'm going to talk about my plan, and I might be filming him a little bit of doing what I'm hoping we'll be doing tomorrow. But for today, we're going to talk about One Book July and my thoughts on it and my thoughts on my art travel bag, and we're going to talk about some of that kind of stuff because I wanted to put this video up yesterday. But, you know, things happen, and Friday ended up being a really busy day. I had errands to run, stuff to do, and I got some footage filmed, but the coffee chat portion of it didn't work right for some reason. I don't know. I was filming, but there was no sound, so I'm blah, 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 but nothing's coming out. So like I said, yeah, no voice. I'm talking away, but you can't hear a thing. I wanted to talk a few minutes about synchronicity. Synchronicity, Carl Jung talked about it. James Joyce talked about it. Quite a few people talked about it. They even mentioned it in the sci-fi TV show called The Expanse. In The Expanse, the guy said, or the lady said, synchronicity is coincidence but not coincidence, which is true. But James Joyce said, shut your eyes and see, which can sometimes apply to creativity too. Jung thought creativity and synchronicity sort of went hand in hand. He said that we must regard synchronicity as creative acts, as the continuous creativity of a pattern. It exists inside of multiple creative acts or one big creative act, like one big creative project. Jung went on to say, from the living fountain of instinct flows everything that is creative. Hence, the unconscious is not merely conditioned by history, but the very source of the creative impulse. Now, that creative impulse comes in waves or flashes, or sometimes it booms and crashes. It hits you like a bolt of lightning. People have said that synchronicity is two or more unrelated events that sometimes clash, merge, intersect to create a meaningful message. And that it oftentimes makes people feel like it's out of time or space, and it's a wonderful thing when it happens. When you get that moment of synchronicity, when you realize, a lot of people thought of it as the muse. There have been any number of references to it. People don't oftentimes call it synchronicity itself, but if you think about it and you shut your eyes and you think, you see, how does your best creativity come to you? A flash of insight, an aha epiphany kind of moment. You could be taking a walk or a shower or watching a video or reading a book or whatever, you know, you see something. A picture on Pinterest, something come up on Facebook. Somebody mentions something somewhere. And I think that's been happening to me a lot more lately. I've talked about synchronicity a lot. I have a video about it. I'll put the card up there. But what happens when I actually open my mind is that I get this feeling of, oh, wow, and it hits me. Well, it's been hitting me more lately because I've actually had my mind open more lately. For a few months there, I wasn't really open, not to creativity, not to synchronicity very much. It did happen a little bit, and it helped me be more creative because I was kind of stuck. I was definitely kind of stuck for a while. I think here lately, it's been happening more because, like I said, I'm more open to it. With One Book July and World Watercolor Month and a lot of other things happening in July, I know I'm going to be busy. I know I'm going to need to stay organized. So my plans for One Book July have sort of organically converged to something I think might actually work. And after watching Romney's video about One Book July 4.0, so this is the 5th year for One Book July. And I think I've participated in it every year. I think I tried the very first time, didn't do very well, but I did try. So I have decided to go all B6 for the most part. I have the A6. I don't know if I'm going to be using the A6 Hobonichi, but I think this is going to sort of just be notes for something in particular. I don't know what yet, but I know I have a project for it because it's going to go in my purse and it's going to go with me. So anyway, on to other things. I just got back into the A5 Hobonichi Cousin, and yet I've realized I don't really need it. I will, after July, go back into it now that I've got the hang of it. Finally, of course that would happen. But I'm going to be using my B6. It is a planner bullet journal hybrid. It is in a traveler's notebook. I've talked about that. I'm going to be using B6 for my art journal, or my artist journal, document my life kind of thing. And I'm also going to be using the B6 sketchbook along with a moleskin landscape sketchbook to practice. That's something, I think of the sketchbook as something completely different, that moleskin sketchbook. And my writing. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I have going on, some of my thoughts about some of this. But I'm also going to be using one backpack. I'm going to put the bulk of my supplies into a backpack. I'm trying to get the bulk of my art stuff that I'm going to be going out and doing urban or plein air sketching, my outside sketching, into one smaller bag, or maybe just that backpack. I'm kind of still sort of figuring things out with the art journal part of it. I mean, the outside sketch part of it. But I thought I would do a hybrid One Book July, a sort of combination of One Book Julys. So because I have so many projects going on, I figured, why not? I've got a project going on, and I might as well kind of go big or go home, because I'm not a digital. I'm not really a digital person. I'm an analog person. But I thought, in the spirit of One Book July, and since it is the digital 4.0 part is the digital part, I thought, why not? Something Romney said was, why not make pictures, taking pictures, your digital things, so post them somewhere, take a picture, post it. And I thought that would be my thing. I like the tools that technology offers me that I can use, but I don't know how to use a lot of them. And I am learning how to use some of them still. My best bet is to sort of, like I said, do a hybrid. I'm not into digital planning or journaling, but since it is, they have adopted the name to One Book July Planner and Journal challenge. So I'm going to try to post pictures daily. Now, posting them to Facebook, my Facebook group, and posting them to Instagram is more than enough. I don't really need to post them anywhere. I will use the hashtag so that they show up elsewhere. I'm going to try to do a blog post weekly, an update about something I'm doing in July, whether it is World Watercolor Month or One Book July. I'm going to try to post one post weekly for each of these major projects, like one post for Camp NaNoWriMo, one post for One Book July, one art kind of post for, I don't know, that means 3 or 4 blog posts a week, which is my goal. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the videos. So an art update, a writing update, and One Book July update. Shark Week falls in July, so does my birthday, so does Victor's birthday. We are hoping to get Victor a pool and some toys to kind of go with the pool. A pool, not a really big pool. He'll be 6. But one that we can put in our backyard that he and I can get in, and I can play with some of his toys and we can have some fun. I thought I'd do the hybrid version. So I have, like I said, figured out some of that. And I think that will work really well, because when I started writing everything down, here are the challenges I'm actually going to be participating in. I have the World Watercolor Month, One Book July, I have Camp NaNoWriMo. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot. Not to mention Shark Week. And not to mention Patreon and YouTube and my blog posts. And now posting pictures, hopefully daily. One of the other things I'm working on is a project is practicing art. And the practicing art is one of the tiers. It's one of the projects I'm doing for one of my tiers on Patreon. And I thought, with it being World Watercolor Month, how about I go back to the basics and I start with color theory and learning more about all the colors that I have and the different brands of watercolor and things like that. That project is about the only project that I'll be doing that won't really come out of my book bag. There's going to be a lot more filming with voiceover where I film at the coffee table, because we are revamping some things in our house. We're cleaning up some things and organizing some things. The living room is one of them. And I would like to spend more quality time with Mr. Rockstar. And he doesn't mind if I'm sitting in there with him and we're watching a TV show and I'm doing that. And there are some TV shows that I can really, it doesn't bother me. I'm okay with concentrating on two things at one time. I want to be mindful of what I'm doing, but I also need to multitask at the same time. And that's not always easy to do. There's not enough time in the day for me to do everything that I want to do. So I sort of have to multitask sometimes. One Book July is going to be a really interesting, really fun month, I think, for me, since it's going to be a hybrid of different things. I have changed some things around in this. If you are part of the newsletter, then you've already seen some of this. If you're on Patreon, you've already seen some of this. But what you haven't seen are some of the other things that I'm working on and that I'm doing and that I'm really excited about, because I am a big fan of Snoopy, but I'm also a big, big, big Jaws fan. I love sharks. I don't know why. But Jaws movie, every time I watch it, it reminds me of my childhood. It's the time period it was filmed in. It was one of those first really good action hero's journey. I mean, I love Star Wars, but I love Jaws. You know, I love the movies from that era, and I'm a big Jaws fan, big shark fan. I love Shark Week. It might sound cheesy, but I've actually enjoyed and literally laughed at the Sharknado movies. Mr. Rockstar and I watched a movie the other night on Hulu called Planet of the Sharks or something like that. It was a sci-fi movie, The Asylum. It was one of the Asylum movies. If you see that, you always know it's usually a sci-fi movie. I love those movies, though. Shark themed, sea creature themed. All of July is sea creature themed. Now, I'm going to be primarily focusing on sharks for like at least some of the bigger stuff and that whole week of Shark Week. But I'm also going to be doing some other things like I want to draw an octopus. I want to draw like maybe a ship on the ocean. I want to draw like a few other things like a jellyfish. I want to get better at drawing jellyfish. So I've been sort of doing some things outside of sharks. But Shark Week, y'all, July is my sea creature, Jaws, shark themed month. It is really a shame that Meg is actually not coming out until August, I think, or maybe it's coming out the end of July, but I know it's coming out this summer. Jason Statham in a big shark movie, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to give you a preview of where I'm headed, in the direction I'm headed for One Book July, because I'm still trying to put some things together. And I am really excited. I have some watercolor projects to work on for Patreon. You're going to see a little bit of what I've already drawn out in pencil, and then Patreon's going to get to see me watercoloring those. So, quick, I've already taken up too much time. I still have my writing traveler's notebook to put together, but I'm going to show you what I'm hoping that Mr. Rockstar and I are going to be able to put together tomorrow, and I should have that put together hopefully by tomorrow evening so that I can film it, and it will be, hopefully if I can get it filmed and everything, it'll be a Monday. Maybe Monday will be Monday's musings, and I guess we'll go back to doing coffee chats on Mondays for Monday's musings videos, and then Wednesday will be a Writer Wednesday because we're going to have camp. We're going to do that, and Friday will be One Book July art journal kind of stuff, maybe. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm figuring that part out too. Turning it around now. Hello. So I'm going to scoot in just a little closer, but hopefully you can see. So I have this traveler's notebook. It looks to me very much like an Indiana Jones type thing. And right now it has this dragonfly on there, but I have 3 different shark's teeth. This one actually looks like a shark's tooth in a shark's tooth, but they have these edges. You can see them. These 2 do. You can see the edges. Okay, so I have these metal things. This came from a costume jewelry kind of thing, earring things. And Mr. Rockstar has a soldering iron, and we're going to take some of the rings and we're going to probably wrap around this, and then I'm going to put it like this. Shark, yep. And I have some notebooks for writing. I haven't opened them yet. I haven't done anything in them yet. They're strictly going to be a whole new ball game for what I'm hoping to do for Camp Panorama. I changed things up. This is now my sketchbook. And so I will be doing World Watercolor Month in the actual sketchbook, which I'm really excited about doing. I need to get back into this more. It has a pen loop. Not that this is the pen I'll be using, but it's one of the pens I'll be using. And I moved things around. This was originally what I had my journal in. Originally, I think I put sketchbook in here. I found another one of these clear covers, but it doesn't have the zipper thing. So I may end up redoing it, cutting it, MacGyvering it to put over this one. I haven't made up my mind yet. And so there's the giraffe. I need to finish working on that giraffe. But I have some things in here. This is my actual journal. I was doing cocoa. I need to finish that too. It's not all that great, but it's the first time I've ever tried to do that. And I did watercolor. I watched Romney with her Patreon video, and instead of doing a pen, I did a watercolor pencil. And then this is my hybrid bullet journal planner. And I'm going to put this right here over this, I think. And this I'm going to do is going to go for my writer one. And then I'm going to put him somewhere on something for the art, I think. We'll see. But I'm going to watercolor for Patreon, and I'm also going to do some journaling. And then let's get to what I have. I'm super excited about this show. So Mr. Rockstar, he has surprised me. He knows how much I love Jaws and how much I love Shark and Shark Week and all that kind of thing. So I have a Jaws lunchbox. And was hoping I could get everything in here to take, and I probably could, except for the sketchbook. I could probably put these pens, and I have a couple of fountain pens and my travel stuff, and then I have my pen case. So I could probably put all these pens in here. My stamp and this actually go here. I don't really need them. This could go down in here somewhere. Although I could stamp them whenever. But these could technically go in my Shark pencil pen case. Technically. They could go right in there. But this still would not fit in there. And I could put the pens put some of the other ones in here. But the sketchbook still wouldn't fit in there. But I'm getting it organized. I know I don't need all this stuff. I know I don't need all this stuff. But I've watched a couple of different people who have been doing plein air sketching and urban sketching for like a decade. And they had, some of them had just a little tiny bit, like a couple of people had like something like this, and a couple of water brushes, and paper towel, and they had all their stuff in one little bag. All their stuff. Why Ipsy couldn't have sent me the red one like this, I don't know, but I'm not really a big fan of yellow, but I like the material and it will work for what I want. So like they have everything in one little bag, and that's it. I know that's not going to be me though. So I have colored pencils and watercolor pencils in here, and a couple of graphite pencils in there. I have my pencil sharpener, which I finally figured out how to open and now needs to be emptied again. I have a glue stick. I put the date stamp in there. This will not fit in my cup holder. Victor's cup that is, it's a spill-proof cup, and it works. I'm going to be using his, and if I'm sitting like in Starbucks, I can use this for the dirty water and this for the clean water, or vice versa. My brush can sit on top of this. And then if I'm actually out somewhere where I'm not like at a tabletop kind of thing, I can use this. It will sit, it will actually attach to my clipboard. So I'm pretty excited about that. But it will fit in my book bag. And I have this kind of stuff in my book bag too. Afterbite itch eraser, off, moisturizer. The only thing I haven't gotten is the sunscreen, and I actually do have some of that, just got to find it. So I have my ruler, my watercolor palette, and these are real brushes that I have in a Ziploc bag. So I'm actually feeling pretty good about this whole setup. There is actually room. I could actually put pins in here. I just have some of the basic colors, and see, I even have like a regular pencil in here. Just different. Even some of these are Crayola, some of these are Prismacolors. Just a bunch of different things. Mr. Rockstar got me another bag, but it hasn't come yet because it's coming from overseas. This one didn't come from overseas. But he surprised me. I guess he ordered it a couple of weeks ago, and it's supposed to be here by like the very beginning of July. The bulk of what I have would actually fit in this. My daughter said Victor still has his shark book bag, the clear shark book bag that I got him. So I don't know, she said she'd try to find it. If she does, then great. But if not, this is actually going in my book bag, and then that way this will go in there too. And then my journal will go in there. My sketchbook will go in there. And voila. Looks like a shark. Okay, so away. I'm like super excited because I might be going, if we can get this stuff done, and we're supposed to get the house clean, and we're supposed to go grocery shopping. So when we go grocery shopping, I think we're going to go out and get a cup of coffee, and I'm going to do a little bit of sketching at the park. So we're going to see. I like the way this looks. I really do. I like the way this looks. This looks to me more like a shark tooth. Broke around the edges of right here. So maybe I'm probably going to end up using that one. I have a couple of more shark teeth. You can see the shark tooth right there. I have a couple of more shark teeth, but I don't know. I didn't want to get all of them. I like the way that one looks. And like I've said before, I have the Moleskine in here, and my tablet will fit in here, and I can take pictures and film a little bit. I want to start doing more watercolor stuff in this, watercolor on watercolor paper to get better at it. So I'm pretty excited. I will figure out something from there. I might take a little bit of the stuff out of here or out of that one bag and put it back in the front of this. I don't know. Just because it has the stuff on it doesn't mean I need to fill it up, because I could be somewhere and find something and put it in the pocket of paraphernalia, a little map, a brochure, ticket stubs, receipts, anything like that. That is my setup so far. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing the bullet journaling in here. I've already set up a lot of July right here. Do a little jellyfish. And that's where I'm at. And then right here is where this week is coming. This is what I did for yesterday and today. And then I have all this week to put right here. And I added this paper in with washi tape, a different journal. And then there's my index. So I'm ready. I'm good to go. Have an idea notebook to throw in here for like brain dumps, because this is my collections. I don't know that I want to do brain dumps in here, but we're going to see. I'm like I said, I'm going to show you what I've got, what I'm going to be putting together completely once I get the Writer's Bible and stuff set up and I get this finished the way that I want it. I'm still figuring things out, and we still have a little bit of time. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I am really excited about everything that's going to be going on in July. I have these were full-size C sticker book, and the Take to the Sea sticker book, they were $1 at Dollar General, I believe, and they have their cutest little stickers in them. There's, look at that. So aren't they adorable? I like the little jellyfish. So I have lots of stuff. I'm ready. I'm good to go. I think next year I may end up getting the B6 Slim Jibun Techo for actual planning, using it with astrology. Maybe. We'll see. And that'll be that. I will see y'all again soon. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.